Let's hear it from you guys. Hey, give them a hand. I've coached for a lot of years, and I got to say, this is one of the more remarkable teams that I have ever had. And one of the reasons why this team is very unique is I don't think I've ever had 12 guys before that could so easily be put in and out of the game and the level of play not dip, not drop, where 10, 11, 12 are as good as 1, 2, and 3. And each person has a very unique talent that they bring that is very powerful out on the floor and important to the team. And I've just never had that kind of luxury. Getting 12 guys in is difficult as a coach. It's not easy to give that many people a lot of playing time, but it really worked for this group because we could just insert whoever we needed at the time, or keep flights coming in, stay fresh legs, and I've never been able to do that so easily as I have with this team here. Truly remarkable to have so many very talented players that can bring that kind of basketball. And it was such an advantage against so many teams because, they'd go to their bench and we'd go to our bench, and it was like we're bringing in starters to go, beat up their bench players, and that's pretty much what we did, and which was really fun. It says a lot about you guys to have so many guys that play well together, that support each other, which was very exciting to me, and it was also truly a pleasure coaching you guys. Not only is a lot of talent on the team, we have our guys that can ball. We have some guys that are multi-sport athletes that bring a lot of athleticism, and hustle, and those things. And I really enjoyed working with the level of talent that you guys have and what you brought to the floor. We could do some different things with that. We could go with some different combinations, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to see. Some really great leaders out there, and honestly, like I said, very remarkable team. And like I said, I've coached a lot of years, and I truly had a great time coaching you guys. I really had a lot of fun. A lot of heart on the team, a lot of people that really want to get out there and win, to improve, to get better, to learn new things. And I really enjoy the teaching element of the game, which I'm sure you guys noticed about me. I'm always teaching. I'm teaching in games, I'm teaching before games, practices. I want you guys to learn. And I felt like to every single one of you, I think you guys listened, you worked, you tried. I feel like all of you got better, and that really makes it the most fun for me. And so I had a great time, and I want to thank you for a great season. 9-1 was just solid. It was really amazing, and I think our one loss, we all agreed that we wish we could play that team again because we proved so much over the season that we feel like maybe we could get that one. So great job to the 8th graders. One last applause.
That's going to be hard to follow. I'm not a great public speaker, so we'll just kind of make it short and simple. But same thing, this is my second year coaching here, and just as a reminder for my 7th graders that there was 52 kids that tried out for the 7th grade, and I couldn't have made a better choice with the 12 that I picked. Remarkable job from all of you guys. Anybody can teach basketball, but you can't teach chemistry, and I think that I was really lucky, and we were all lucky, I can say, the chemistry that we all had on and off the court. So thank you guys for being respectful, giving me 100% every time you guys came in, always listening, and also helping me as a coach, and giving me your guys' ideas as well. We finished strong too, 8-2, a couple games as well that we wish we can go back on, but you live and you learn, and it makes you think about what we can work on as an individual and as a team and as a coach. But remarkable season. I had fun, and I hope you guys had fun as well, and I'm excited to see you all grow in the future. So that's it for me.
Couple more signatures here, and then we are going to pass out our 8th grade awards. Either way. I got 2 more.
One more thing I just want to add to the 8th grade season. I was a varsity coach for a long time, 13 years over at Shorecrest, and I know that every year you know after the season you kind of, well, actually we do it all the time, but you look down and say, okay, who's coming up from the from 7th and 8th grade ranks? What are the teams going to look like a few years from now? And for some of you, you might be contributing to the high school team even sooner. Sometimes those guys come in and help, freshmen and sophomores occasionally. If I am Coach George over at Shorewood, I think I'm pretty excited about this class, these 8th graders. I'd also be excited about the 7th graders. But the 8th grade class, so much talent, so many things, so many different ways to plug you guys in, a lot of heart, a lot of athleticism. And from my perspective, seeing high school from the sidelines now, I'm really going to enjoy just keeping an eye on you guys and seeing what you guys do over your next 4 years at the high school level. I think you guys could make some history here at Shorewood. I think you guys really can. And you have that potential, and if you tap that and you stay together and play for each other, I think you could make some really cool history. So with that being said, let's bring out Andrew. Come on down, Andrew. All right, thanks for a great season, Andrew. Andrew, he's a very dynamic player. He's got great, tremendous hustle. He's got good skills going to the basket, shooting, and just always works hard out there. Anybody that watched him yesterday probably saw how ferocious your defense is. You really get after the guy. You make it personal. I'd be a little bit scared to have you guard me, honestly, because it's not just an intensity that you have, it's a physicality, which is pretty impressive considering that your stature isn't as big as some of the other guys, but you play way bigger and stronger than what you are. And I love your energy and how hard you work. And you also always showed up to practice with the best, geekiest science shirts, which I really appreciate. Guy over at Shorecrest. So you also bring the mental aspect of the game. So great job, Andrew. Thanks for being on the team. Rio, come on down. Good for Rio. All right, Rio is a guy that obviously brings a lot of talent to the team. He's played a lot. He plays on other teams and things like that. And we had a conversation before it started. He's got so much going for him. And the conversation went a little bit like this, like, hey, you've got so much going for you. Are you interested in learning? You're interested in learning from me and from the team and coming out of push maybe your comfort zone a little bit. And he said, yeah, coach, I think I want to do that. And I think over the season, I think you really did. There was some stuff that's probably new to you, and you're always willing to try it. You're always willing to do new things and play the role that this team needed you to play, which might not be the same as on other teams. And I think you were able to combine a lot of the things that you already know with some of the things that we were trying to do as a group. And again, yesterday, I think you saw it on full display. This was maybe your best game on the Einstein last night, or one of them, but you were very solid in all aspects of the game, and you really helped pace us last night. And I think it was a really good representation of the work that you've done all season, and the energy that you brought, and the skill that you brought, the leadership that you brought, which was fantastic. So thank you very much, Rio. Congratulations. Katie, come on down.
Wavy tape.
All right, Haiti, and he is a wrecking ball, and I mean in the best sense. Just pure athlete, strong, competitive, plays with a lot of enthusiasm, and which I love. And he is very strong inside and a tremendous rebounder. And as the season went on, I learned more and more about all the things that he can do. I saw that his defense is second to none. His hustle is outstanding, and he gets the whole team behind him. And when he steps on the floor, our level goes from ear to ear. There is one story I want to say. We were practicing somewhere in the middle of the season, and we were working on getting back on defense, I think is what it was. You know, it was just a drill, you know, we'd maybe shoot the ball or something, and then just sprint down, get in defensive stance. And I'm just kind of watching our team do this, and the way you ran up the floor, you know, your muscles popping, and just energy, and just ferocity. And I'm thinking, you know, I've coached a lot of high school teams. That right there looks like a high school player right now. Like the kind of athleticism combined with hustle and effort and focus. And, you know, I had to stop the practice and just congratulate that and say, hey, you got to keep that going, because that's the kind of thing that high school coaches want to see, and something that can propel you into a varsity lineup someday. So, and you know, from then you just continue to impress me in many, many ways. So thanks for a great season, JV. No, I never did the study of color at Wrecking Ball. Heckma, come on down. Heckma was probably our most versatile player. An outstanding athlete, tall, long arms, got everything that a good basketball player you know, wants. Plus he's got quickness. He can score from outside, he can score inside. So much to his game. I could put him on a guard, he could play against a post, offensively, defensively, he could do it all. And he has good leadership, has the team behind him. And in so many ways, I felt like the team really leaned on him. When we were in a tight spot, when we needed that something, it was always good to have Heckma on the floor, because I know he's capable of making a play. You know, whether it's inside, outside finishing. And so for the whole all-around thing, you know, you really held us down. You were kind of our anchor in many ways. And so that was huge for us all year. So great job, Heckma. I didn't get as much Reed as I would have liked this year. He had some sickness. You know, he's great at other sports as well, so we had some things there going on. But every time we had him, he always made an impact on the game. And he, just a story about him, he actually missed quite a bit of time, and then we had the break. And, you know, he comes back in and like, well, you know, I'm still going to give Reed some time, because, you know, frankly, when Reed's here, he always gives 110%. Just energy, athleticism, he figures it out. You know, if there's a way to win, Reed's going to figure it out. And in this particular game, it was the most difficult game that we won all year, was when we were up at Olympic View, and spending most of the time trying to come from behind in the first half. I think we'd even just taken the lead, I can't remember which. But I put Reed, all right, we're going to get Reed some time here a little bit, and finds a way to drill a three right at the buzzer. Probably hadn't taken a shot in, like, you know, 4 weeks, but like I said, Reed figures out ways to win. He just, you know, he's just a winner. I can tell that about him. So thanks for all the effort and what you did. Good job, Reed. Abel, come on down.
Money.
Abel might be maybe our lightest-hearted, most humorous player in the stands, but when he's on the court, he's all about competition. And Abel is a guy that, what should I say? You always need a player that can steady your team, that can handle the ball, get it where it needs to go, make a play when you need to make a play. The most difficult game we had all year was against Briar Terrace. That's a team that I think we've really struggled with in the past. And we went into halftime with a nice lead, mainly due to your three-point shooting. Okay? And in all the other games where the score was tight, we have some good scorers on this team. We have a lot. It's hard to figure out, like, okay, who's our best scorer? Because on any given night, it could be somebody. But hands down, when the game is on the line, the guy that came through for us time and time again when we needed a bucket was Abel. All right, you just found that three, you found that little drive-in left-hand bake layup. I knew that it was going to get done when you shot it. Other guys sometimes, you know, it's a little bit more of an adventure, but you, when it counts the most, all right, I trust you with the ball, and so that's a really great compliment to you. Thank you for a great season.
Staring at the paper the whole time.
Another really great athlete. One of the things I'll say about Jacob is just he's got a laser focus about him. Just sort of a quiet strength, sort of you know what, he doesn't need to say anything and the whole team just sort of like says, you know, just sort of falls in line. You know, he just gives you that look, you know, because, and the reason why is not only is he just very strong, athletic, hardworking player, you know, he just earns every respect with every possession, with every time he gets in defensive stance, with every rebound, with every steal, because he works so hard. He pays attention, he listens to the details. He thinks of himself as a post player because he's a little bit on the taller side, but he has so much room to grow in all aspects of the game. And I really feel that, and I told him this, that you know, because of your attention to detail, your shot, your release is really one of the best on the team. And that's something that if you work on it, I think could really take you high. And so, you know, a lot of the stats you get in the games are just so steady. It's sort of like when you're in there, it's just sort of rebound here, rebound there, rebound there. You look at the end of the game, you've got this long line of stats: steals, rebounds, you know, shots. You hit your free throws, so many things, and it's because he's focused and he listens, he pays attention, and he takes care of the little things, and he works extremely hard. Every team needs a guy like you on it. Great job. All right, Shiraz is, you know, another guy that really brings a lot to the team, partly just because you're so tall. And when you put your arms up, you are a formidable sight. And I could tell that maybe you're a little bit new in some areas and unsure about yourself. And you shouldn't be, because you have a great game. And I think sometimes you shy away from your shot and some things that you can do just because you're feeling unsure. But I just want to encourage you in the future to keep attacking and stay aggressive, because you do so many things so well. And with your height, you're very strong and you're a good player, and all these guys get on you all the time, as you know, to keep going, keep attacking it. And when you do pretty well, or I should do very well, including last night's over the head shot under the rim. All right. I mean, it's a sign of your athleticism and your ability as a player to understand your body, the space around you, and to go strong. And I've seen it in flashes at how strong your game is. And like every new player, you know, you're gonna learn as you go along, and you're gonna gain confidence. But I see you on a very trajectory, and I saw that you've improved a lot over the year. He's also a guy that I trust with the ball at the end of the game to be strong, make good decisions, which is why I put you in the game 2 nights ago when it was on the line, and that says a lot about you. And so really appreciate all your hard work and everything you did to get better. And again, high school coaches have got to be paying attention to you, because you're improving so much and you're such a great guy and you're working hard. Keep it up.
Right.
Charlie, come on up.
Let's go, Charlie.
All right, thanks for a great season, Charlie. Here's another guy that, again, you know, so many players bring so many great things. I mean, I can gush about every one of you. Charlie is another player that I'd say just sort of has a great package of basketball around him. He can handle the ball, he's a great passer, he's a good shooter, he can score inside, and he's smart. He's very smart. He always runs our stuff very well. He's in the right spots, and he's a playmaker. You know, we got, you know, a game going up and down, and more times than not, You know, all of a sudden somebody steps in, makes a play when we need a putback, someone hits a baseline shot, and lo and behold, there's Charlie again, coming up with plays for our team. And because of his hustle, because of his work ethic, because he's developed all aspects of his game, his shooting, his scoring, his passing, all of that, as well as understanding the offense and his role in that. And so all of that just has led to, you know, you being just a solid player that I trust to put in the game, to make plays, and to be a big part of what we do. So great job, Charlie. Nate, come on down.
Let's go, Nate.
During the tryouts, I think Nate first impressed me with his nifty scoring ability. And I put it that way because Nate, he's kind of a unique player. He's kind of got a little bit of length, and he's kind of lanky, long arms, and he uses every bit of it really well. He has a really nice, consistent shot from three. He's got a floater. He can kind of, you know, use his athleticism and his dexterity to kind of go, you know, side to side a little bit. And if I could do a highlight tape, I'd love to do a highlight tape of your different ways in which you scored the basketball, because everyone is always a little bit different, always unique, because you just have a nose for scoring. And that was the first thing I noticed about you. And it's like, well, I got to have somebody like that on the team. And then you went in and showed me that not only you're a scorer, you're a great defender. You can block shots, make big plays when we need big plays. And you're really fun to watch. You're just outstanding to watch just because of just the way you just sort of let your game hang out. If you have anything knocks against you, I would say is you don't shoot the ball enough. And because we all like to watch you play and do what you do. So great job. It's been a fun season. Atticus. I've heard that you are really dynamite soccer player. Is that right?
Sure.
I mean, I've heard that you're a great soccer player and multi-sport athlete, right? In what you do. And when I saw you in tryouts, I was like, this guy just plays so hard, he plays so aggressively, that I know you're going to be able to, you're going to help our team. And in our first game, I think you got a little bit excited. You threw up a three here, but it went in, and you know you fouled out in like 2.5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting, you know. And I was kind of wondering about like what kind of a player that you're going to be. But I found out that any concerns that I had at that time were just unfounded, because as we progressed through the season, you really latched on to everything that we said, everything that we were working on, running our plays, being in our positions, the way we score, the way we pass, the way we shoot, the way we play defense, and you did it all very, very, very well. And the game yesterday was another testament to the fact that when we started out the season, it wasn't just you that fouled a lot. It was us as a team. And we were frequently, you know, in the bonus like halfway through the first quarter. And we didn't have foul trouble at all last night. And we still played aggressive defense, and you were a big part of that. You're always getting your hands on the ball, and then you also showed that you have a great ability to score. You're adept at putting it in the basket and finding ways to do that, and yet you bring the energy and enthusiasm. You play with a smile. It just lifts everybody up when you're on the floor. And so, great job with that. You brought And Amir, come on down. The first thing I noticed about Amir in tryouts and early in the season is that out of our players, he was the one that was ready to talk, ready to communicate, ready to take the huddle and say, all right, we're going to break it down, guys. Hey, coach said this. Every team needs guys like that, all right? And I'm not going to say every team needs one player like that. Really, a good team, everybody is like that. And so it was great to have an example on our team of people that are willing to talk and talk and talk and talk. You need to be here. This is what we're doing. This is such an important quality to have. Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K, I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with him, has a policy for players that lead by example, meaning they don't talk. He has a special place for them. It's on the bench. And if you play for Duke, you talk. It doesn't matter who you are. And Amir communicates. He's a communicator, and that is so important on a team. And you're also a great leader. You want to go out there and you want to do things the right way, get people to the right positions. You're an extraordinary defensive player. You're an extraordinary shooter, and you bring a lot to the table. You exemplify the qualities that coaches need in a team, and I really appreciate that. I leaned on it quite a bit through the season, and so thank you for a great season, Amir. And lastly, I guess we have some awards here. And I'm not going to say much about the awards. I guess I kind of talked about everybody already, so I won't say more, but I think they will make sense based on the awards. So, most improved goes to Attica. These 3 awards, by the way, were voted on by the team. I did not decide these, so your teammates awarded you that, and I totally agree. I will say that all of you deserve an award for something. We're just giving these 4. And for these awards, I could have given them to so many different people. So many of you improved, so many of you did so many great things. But you do deserve some special kudos when your team chooses you. The next one, the MVP award, probably goes to the person that was most consistently that we leaned on as a team. That's Rio. He didn't snub me. He would have. He just didn't see my hand. So great job. Your team voted you MVP, and I think this one is very fitting for the level of energy that he brought to this team. Most inspirational goes to Tate. There you go. And there's one last award, the Coaches Award. This is the one I didn't pick. And I picked this because this player, I think, exemplified the most everything that I think a basketball player should have. Athleticism, talent, focus on what they need to do, intelligence, hustle, hard work, I think encompass this person the most, and that's Jacob. Yeah. All right. One last applause for 8th grade.
Great going. So first up, we got Ray. Thank you. So with 52 kids, I want to say about 30 of them were guards. And I remember seeing Ray, and I really liked his style of play. He had a mixture of team play, but also a hint of street ball, with his dribbling and the way that he played on the court during tryouts. Practice, I don't know who this kid is. He acted like he was 5'10". He was, and during the games, he was just up and down. He was hustling. He was the first one up and down the court. Ray was just a pleasure to have, and I think you're just great. Evan. So Evan is just an example of just an awesome athlete. He was probably the biggest power forward we probably had for being his size. He probably had some of the best passes I've seen, and he just killed it with all the backdoor passes that we were getting as a high post. Evan, it's been a pleasure. Jameson. So, first thing I noticed about Jameson when we were at tryouts, he was the first one that I noticed that stood out, and that was just talking. He was talking and helping out people that he knew and people he didn't know. He was helping with instructions, helping them when we couldn't hear because there were 52 kids. He was just one of those athletes that just really stood out as like a leader on and off the court. I remember after we had tryouts, I told him when he made the team that I'm mostly going to put him in the small forward, swinging a guard. And he took that with all the heart, and he's like, "But coach, I think I'd be better as a 3." And I was like, "I believe 100%, but we're going to challenge you." And he stepped to the plate, and he stood up there with the other posts, and he was getting boards, and he was down the court half the time with all the fast breaks, playing the 3 as a 4. So it was a pleasure having you, and good job to you. Nene. So same thing with Nene. He was just a pleasure to have on the team. I think he's one of those athletes and teammates that kind of holds the heart of the group, and he was a pleasure to have. Had us laughing on and off the court, but also acting like as an assistant coach, which is really good to have on and off the court. I remember he's like, "Coach, you know, what can I do after tryouts?" He's like, "Coach, what do you think I can work on?" And I was like, "You know what? As an athlete, the people that you do know and that you're comfortable playing with," I said, "talk to your other teammates and other people like that too, like you've been playing with them for years." And he's like, "Okay," and I think that's exactly what he did for all the other 11 players. And good job, Zena. Landon. So again, another strong player that we had. Landon was one of the more of the quiet side when he first started, and I think throughout the season he gained his confidence, and he was yelling. I was like, "Landon, if you want that ball, call for that ball." And he was yelling for it, and he just improved on his rebounds and just getting more fundamentals of the game, and you were just a pleasure to have. Tyler. Another awesome athlete, and just another role of leadership that we had on the team. Tyler too, I think he did a phenomenal job being on defense. He said, "Coach, I really want to be better on defense." I was like, "Okay, I'm going to start having you stick the toughest one on the opponents." And he did. He was like glue. And up and down the court, on the floor, Tyler, you're just another pleasure to have on the team as well. Chase isn't here, but I'll just a little bit about him too. He was another pleasure to have, and I think Chase was more of the quiet guys, but he would crack me up because I'd be like, "Chase, what did I just say?" You know, he's just one of those, like, aren't really there, but he's there, and he's like, "You told me to do this, coach," and yeah, I got it. And I was like, "Dang, you did get it. Okay, good." You know, but he would come out, and he would play strong, and out of nowhere, he was just a scoring machine. So, you know, let's give it up for Chase. Kevin. All right. So Kevin is one of those athletes that you want him on your team. I think that he's a phenomenal team, being such a diverse player as being a shooting guard or even a point guard. He's just somebody you want to be next to on the court. So, Finn. So Finn, another awesome athlete. When he was at tryouts, all I remember him is, I didn't know names, was the green machine. Was it the green machine? No, team. Oh, the team machine. It was green. But it was a team machine. And I was just like, man, I like his style. I like the way he plays. And I was like, but I was so confused of where to put him. Like, I want him as a guard, but I think that he can dominate as a small forward. And you did just that. You brought it, and I think I played you more down low than I did as a guard. And you were up there with him, and you were getting boards, and you were just a pleasure to have him. Another awesome athlete, and Blake is just one of those guys that are just like a natural born point guard. I think that throughout the season, you could really see him grow, reading his team, how to take control on the court, and really have his team trusting him as a guard. I wish he would have shot more, but he has a great shot, and you're just another pleasure, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future. Oh, I think I grew a few gray hairs with this guy. Amazing athlete. I think you're just a threat, whether you're outside or inside. The confidence that you grew at the end of season is just, wow. You know that you can dominate, you got the moves, and thank you for letting me help you with the new moves and listening to all your teammates. You're just a pleasure to have, and I can't wait to see what you do in the future.
Really quick, I want to
Well, I'll have to ask about George Eli, but come on down. We'll get you. Eli, thank you. Eli's just one of those multi-athletes, and you could just tell that his athleticism in general. When he wanted to play big, he really played big, and he was the first one up and down the court. His vocals, just helping the team out and just like kind of yelling at everything and make sure everybody stood their ground, was just great. So thank you, Eli. It's been a pleasure.
I want to say something really quick about Coach Mesa. I've been around the block a few times. I've coached a lot of teams. I've coached in middle school before in Colorado. I've been a college coach. I coached at Shortcuts for 13 years. And during tryouts, when we first started coaching together, you had how many tryouts again? 52 kids. And beyond that, that was on a court like about half the size of this gym, and the 8th graders were on one side. And it was crazy. I have never, ever seen anything like it. The job that was put in front of her was unbelievable. It was impossible. It was an impossible job. Yet, you could have picked 12 better kids for that team. When they played so well together, and there wasn't a weak person out there. Everybody belonged on that team. You just did a tremendous job, and you handled it so gracefully. I thought you did a really great job with that as well. You did all year. Your team looked great all year. So I just wanted to give you a hand for that. I forgot about that. Why don't you do this?
We'll do awards real quick. Same thing. The guys picked the same awards aside from the coaches award. So most inspirational, they got Tyler. And then you have most improved was Joshua. Most valuable, Blake. And finally, my pick for the Coaches Award, I kind of mentioned earlier, for just kind of being an outstanding athlete, a perfect example of a student off the court, and kind of being my eyes and ears and being that vocals on the court that is really good to kind of be the glue of the team, and everything that I asked him to do was always yes coach, and make sure his team was online too. So Evan, come on down.
Can our 2 managers come down? So we have Ethan, and we have Sophia, and you can face them so you can see her.
Come on, Ethan.
I just want to thank these 2 for taking their time to come out and help us on the court, take stats, run down balls, whatever it is that we needed, and I thought you guys did it with a smile on your face, and so well. It's always a joy and a pleasure to have people that can help you out. You did a great job. You brought a lot to the team as managers. I don't know if you want to say anything either.
No, I just think, especially with Sophia coming in when it came to stats, she's like, I don't know what to do, but tell me what to do and I'll do it. So the heart that she had and dedication that she had, it was really a pleasure. Ethan, I had the pleasure with you last year. It was great to have you part of the team, and thank you for being part of it and being committed to this as well.
Yeah. So we have a little something for both of you guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up and then we'll go get some ice cream.
So thanks